Appreciate it. Well, happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and good to see we got some of the wives in the audience today with our lunch bunch. Good to have y'all. But happy Thanksgiving. We're excited about this week. As we always say, we have the season, and then it's South Carolina. It's literally a goal of its own, and something that we look forward to every single year. It's the next goal for us, and we're excited again about the week. And South Carolina, looking at them, looking at their offense, I'm really impressed with their quarterback. I think he's going to be a very good player for them. He can throw the football. He makes a lot of very accurate throws. He's got the ability to push the ball down the field. He's a big kid. And again, he's a freshman, kind of getting thrown in there this year. But he's a tough young man, and I think a guy that's got a bright future for sure. They got really a whole stable of running backs. These running backs are a good group, a very good group. Rico's had a great year. He's a very good runner. Feaster's had an excellent year for him as well. Obviously, we know all about him. But I think the number 20 kid that they've played here as of late, too, I think he's another big back that's a good player. A big loss for him with Edwards out. If he's not going to play, he's had a phenomenal career, and really a good football player and a guy that they used in a lot of different ways. But several other guys that are maturing at receiver. Shaw Smith's a great football player. We're very familiar with him. He's a dangerous guy, especially with the ball in his hands. And then, assuming they'll get Ortre back as well, another big body. So they got a good group of receivers, some big-bodied guys, a solid group. But I think injuries have been a factor for them, obviously. And again, when you lose a guy like Brian Edwards, that doesn't help you. But they're doing a lot of different things on offense, so it creates a strain on you because it's really hard to kind of know what their identity is, because I think they've had to find ways from week to week as they've had some injuries and things like that to move the ball. And so they've played 7 in there at some. They've done some run game, quarterback run game things. They've trick plays, a little bit of everything. Ball comes out quick. They'll get into a lot of empty, a lot of formations, a lot of shifts. So just for us, we got to line up well, something we really didn't do a good job of last year, and play with great discipline and execute at a high level. And it's going to start with trying to stop the run game and pressuring the quarterback. So, but again, a group that I think has got a good future, especially with their quarterback. Looking at their defense, definitely the strength for them. This is a very good defensive line, very good defensive line. These guys have been battle-tested. I think Three's as good a player as you're going to see in the country. I think he's a really good football player they've done a great job developing. He is big and strong and long and does a great job with his hands. Got a good motor. He's affected every single game that he's been in. I think the same thing, 95 is a good player. I think both their ends are good players. 8 is a outstanding prospect. They've got some good leadership at linebacker. But they've had a couple injuries on that side as well. Like both their corners, I think both these corners are very good football players. 24, he's a 6'4" kid out there playing corner. He's gotten his hands on a lot of balls. He's got great length. And then J.C. Horn is definitely one of the better corners that we've seen. He's a down-in, down-out player, very consistent. He's a tough kid, good tackler. Good group, but again, for us, just excited about getting back on the field, excited about the week. Again, this is a wonderful week in all of college football. I think it's one of the things that makes college football so much fun. Games like this all over the country. But for us, our focus is just really simple. It's on finishing strong and playing our best 4 quarters of the season this week, and really nothing else. With that, I'll take your questions.
Coach, I'm guessing that the bye week was just good for all your guys to kind of recuperate mentally and physically, but How about Amari and Justyn? Are they both back to 100%?
All back, ready to roll. It was great, great timing for us. Had a lot of guys kind of banged up in our last game, but the bye week fell at a good time, and so good to have everybody back.
Coach, I know you addressed this in your call-in show last night. Just Todd Ellis's comment saying it puts USC fans in a bad spot when you do the Walk of Champions, referring to 2017 when you were down there. Just your thoughts on that type of comment at the Walk of Champions?
Well, there's really not much else to say. I mean, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, 2015, 2013, 2011, 2009, 2007, I mean, that's what Clemson's done for 17 years that I've been here, and it's just ridiculous. It's not any type of taunting. It's a unity thing for our team. It's something we do every single game, home, on the road. If it's something we just did on the road, I could see that. But it's just who we are. It's what we do, and I don't think anybody should be distracted by how a team warms up, how a team gets themselves ready to play a game. I think. Bottom line is, you can yell and scream and holler. I think that's just part of it. But when you start throwing things at people, it's all fun and games till somebody gets their eye knocked out. And, that's why I got frustrated a couple years ago and really lost my cool, got a penalty. But, there's a major lawsuit in the NFL. A guy threw a flag and hit a guy in the eye. A flag. And about blinded the guy. Now, all of a sudden, you got things coming out of the stands, whether it be bottles or batteries or whatever it may be. That's not good. And it's not. Listen, I know a bunch of great South Carolina people. I've got friends that are South Carolina people. It's not representative of who they are. It's just a few people that just don't handle themselves the right way. I mean, it's great spirit. You want to have a great spirited competition. It's a rivalry game. You get that. It's emotional, but that's dangerous, and it's just not something that you should do. But to suggest that it could be okay because of something that a team's doing it, I mean, that's ridiculous. That basically, when somebody's flipping me a bird, that mean I can throw something at them. And I get a lot of those. Not just South Carolina. I get them in a lot of places. It's just, again, there's a lot of stuff, but I think sooner or later, people have to be adults, and it's a game. This is a game, and I know it's important. It's an important game for both sides. Everybody's passionate about it, but there's right and there's wrong. And we shouldn't lose perspective because of our passion for a game.
The fact that you had the open day, several years ago, I think there was an open day before the South Carolina game. In terms of flow and that kind of thing, any concerns about this late in the year, having that open day?
Man, that's big.
Gears,
I'll take it every year if we could get it. I love an open date anytime we get one. I'm never concerned about an open date. I think it's great. And I don't really worry ever about a schedule anyway because it's not something you have any control over. It is what it is. So, I think for us it worked out great. If we get beat this week, it's not going to be because, we had an open date. It's going to be because they played better than we did.
On your open date, what did you guys do?
What did we do? Well, we practiced. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, met on Tuesday. So Tuesday was just a meetings day, and we also did our career fair, which was a big day, and then gave them off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then which is what we normally do. We haven't had 2 open dates in a while. So again, normally we do community service on Tuesdays, and we don't meet. But this week, this open date, we had meetings. And then also our big career fair, which was a great experience for our guys. A lot of different companies in here. So that was a good day. And then everybody got a good weekend off and got back in here yesterday and back on the field last night.
How do you describe this rivalry to the guys who maybe didn't grow up in the state or they didn't grow up around it? How do you talk about that?
Oh, they figure it out pretty quick. When you live in Clemson and it's a small state, it's when it comes to in a small area here, so you get hit with it pretty quick. Both sides, whether you go to Columbia or you're here in Clemson, it's I mean, you go to either one of those schools, it's just a natural thing. It's a goal of its own. So don't have to do a whole lot of explaining. And then obviously as these guys play and they get a little experience in the game, they understand how much it means to both sides and all the people, in the state. So don't have to explain a whole lot. But for us, it's the next game. I mean, it's a huge game. It's a goal. I mean, it's a best of one for us. It's been playoff football for a long time for us, every single week. So it's just being excited to have a chance to go win again, regardless of who you play. But this one just always has a little extra juice in it because it's the team you probably know more about than any other team because you share the same state and everywhere you go, you get hit with this on both sides. So you can't help but figure it out when you get here.
Hey, Dabo, now that you've been through it, are you a fan of the 2-week open dates?
Oh, I'm a huge fan. I love the 2 open dates. It seemed like in 15, I don't know that we had 2 true open dates, but we had like 16 days off before we played Notre Dame, I think, and maybe another Thursday game or something. We've had a couple weird schedules, but I think this is the first time that I can remember that we've had 2 true open days. So I love it. I think it's great. I mean, we've had some of these years where we've been on fumes into the ACC. I think one year, can't remember if it was 15 or 16, but we played 10 in a row. Was it 15? We played 10 in a row, and we were literally, we weren't empty, but we were on a quarter tank. And thank goodness we had just enough gas left in us to get across the line there, and then went into postseason. But so yeah, I love it. The calendar's messed up this year. The whole calendar. It's the way everything. The ACC championship game's a week later. Everything is, our whole December's different than what it's been. The national championship's a week later. It's just everything is very different for us. I mean, how we do bowl prep, as far as when we start practice and all, it's a very different thing. I've usually given our guys a lot of time off after the ACC championship game, but we're not going to be able to have as much time this year. We're going to probably have to start on that Friday. I think last year we started on the following Wednesday. Just, again, we had a whole other week, and we just don't have that. So it's good here, but it's bad on the back end from a finals and prep standpoint and recruiting. It's a lot to manage for us. I ain't complaining because, we have recruiting conflicts because we're in that ACC championship game. And we really only have a few days before the dead period. So, but that's first world problems, as they say. That's a good problem. We'll live with that one.
Will it be a little strange to see Tavien on the other sideline this year?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of seen him, all year. So, kind of past that. This is game 12. So, just go play the game, and I've wished him well in all of them, but this one.
Coach, Tee Higgins didn't make the Blitnikoff list. Of course, he hasn't played in many fourth quarters this season, and you spread the ball around a lot. But it seems like none of your players really get caught up in stats or individual awards from Trevor Lawrence and the Heisman right on down. Is that something you recruit, or is that something that kind of rubs off in the culture that you
I just think that's our culture. I really do. You recruit that too. I mean, you recruit, guys that fit the culture. But yeah, I mean, I know Travis Etienne didn't make the final. I mean, if there's a running back award and Travis Etienne in the finals of it, I mean, what a joke. I mean, really, this guy's. But you just wait and see who gets drafted first. He's in the type of career he's going to have. I mean, it's unbelievable. I think Travis is like 0.2 yards off the all-time in the history of college football yards per carry for a career. And he leads the country in yards per carry. He's got 65 less carries than everybody else who's in their top up there, 65. So that's like 4 games of carries for Travis. And you imagine what he'd do with 4 more games? I don't know what the leader is, but he'd be over that. This guy's off the chart special. And so, I mean, but it just is what it is. I mean, he's the best back in the country. Trevor Lawrence didn't make first team All-ACC last year. Not sure who did, but I know Trevor didn't. So how'd that work out for Trevor? He did all right. He went on to win a national championship, and I think at the end of the day, that's what matters to these guys. We don't get caught up in all the individual stuff. I just did a conversation. I don't even know if it's out, but I did an interview the other day. Can I say it or no? I have a particular player that I think is going to be. Should I not say that? I'll say it later. Check back with me on that. I won't steal the thunder. But yeah, some of these award things, they just kind of make me scratch my head. But anyway, who was Tee Higgins? Yeah. I mean, he's as good as we've ever had, and also even better young man. And he all he wants to do is win. There's a better receiver out there than him. Hey, everybody's got an opinion, but I'm taking T. And when that draft rolls around, you'll see him line up, take him too. He's special.
Do you have any opinion on like the timing of when these awards are voted on, like the Heisman, whether like especially in a playoff era they should be perhaps the actual season?
I mean, don't y'all think Deshaun Watson should have won a Heisman? I mean, come on. He was by far the best player in the country, and he proved it, earned it on the field. But so I think if probably waited till after the season and made a vote on it, it'd been pretty obvious. But half these people that vote don't even watch the games; they just look at stat lines or they look at this and that. I mean, Travis Etienne's had 4 carries in fourth quarter in 11 games. So, I mean, it's just. But if you really know what you're looking at, I mean, it's just it's incredible. How some of those things are decided and all that stuff. But Trevor, is he on any awards? I don't even know if he's up for any awards. He's had. I don't even know if he'll make first team All ACC this year. He's
Davey O'Brien.
Is he a Davey O'Brien guy? All right, maybe. Not a finalist. Didn't make it. Didn't make the cut. We ain't worried about no awards. The only ones we want is every game from here on out, they hand a trophy out after the game for the rest of our way, and that's what our guys are focused on. Anything else that comes with it, great, but nobody's distracted by that.
Going back to rivalries, is that part of what makes college football great? You look at the Big 12. Texas A&M don't play each other anymore. Are you concerned just on a broader level about the rivalries going away in the future? Do you think they're going to stay for years and years to come?
I cannot say that I'm concerned at all. I got too many other things to be concerned about. I don't really sit around and think about it, but I'm not really worried about it either. I mean, just thinking about answering the question now, I mean, I can't imagine Alabama, Auburn not playing, or Clemson, South Carolina not playing, Florida State not playing. I'm not really sure why Texas A&M don't play. I don't know if somebody got their feelings hurt. I'm not really sure what happened there. It's kind of silly, but I think it's definitely Ole Miss, Mississippi State. I mean, those are. I feel sorry for the players who don't get a chance to be a part of a true rivalry like we have here. I mean, because it is a really cool thing to be a part of when you have so many people that are invested and so passionate about an outcome of a football game. I think it's just it's a blast to be a part of it. And again, it's a very natural thing for me because I've literally since I was born, I've been a part of it. I mean, literally. I always joke when you're born in Alabama, you don't leave the hospital till they stamp your birth. You're either Alabama or Auburn, or you don't leave. They just keep you there. You got to declare right there. And so I just so happened to be Alabama. My mom and dad were Alabama, and that's what I was, and that's how I was raised, and was just eat up with it, and I wanted to be a part of it, and then to get a chance to be a part of 13 Alabama-Auburn games was special, and had never in a million years that I think I'd end up at Clemson, and now I'm in my 17th Clemson-South Carolina game. So it's awesome. So my whole life I've been a part of, like, this just feels normal. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have, this feeling, because all games are huge. They're all big. Every game you're so invested in your team, but this game's just different. I mean, it's just a lot more juice to it. And so I just think it's awesome to be a part of it.
Coach, something we've heard from your players a lot this season is this idea of not getting too high or too low. Does it become a little harder to enforce that message with a rivalry game like this? And I guess there may be a balancing act of allowing them to buy into the emotions of a game like this?
I don't think so. I mean, we got a lot of experienced guys, and you know, I mean, it's at the end of the day, we don't prepare any differently. So that's there's consistency in how we prepare. You know, we don't. All right, it's South Carolina week. We're going to practice longer, meet longer, and it's just another Monday. It's just another Tuesday today. So there's a lot of consistency in our prep. That doesn't change. There's always, you know, outside things that you have to manage from week to week. This is a game that you just don't want to play it on Wednesday. You know, you want to make sure that you know are ready to go at 12 o'clock on Saturday. Both teams, you know, both teams will be excited to play. Both teams, if you be honest with you, if we could call each other up, we'd probably just soon play tomorrow. That'd probably be good with Will and be good with me. Let's just go play. But you know, so but it's part of the week, and again, that's what makes it fun. Thanksgiving, you know, everybody's sitting around and talking about it, and you know, getting excited about the game.
Coach, Mukaumu, 24 for the Gamecocks. He had that 3-interception game against Georgia, including the pick 6, but he's got rare size for a corner. How good is that matchup going to be between he and Justyn and Tee?
That'd be a good one. I mean, he's a unique guy in that he's a very long corner. You don't see many guys like him, and he's got great ball skills. He plays the ball well, so it'd be a good matchup to watch for sure. Very good player.
Coach, not that your team needs any extra motivation, but do you sense, especially from like the senior class, that they want to leave just like the previous two without losing ever to their rival in Columbia?
No, I mean, I don't think they want to lose at all. Yeah, I mean, it's not just losing, not wanting to lose to South Carolina. I mean, these guys that sit up here in these front rows have won a bunch of ball games, and you know, people ask sometimes, you know, what's the hardest thing about trying to repeat as a national champion? And my answer is, well, it means we got to go 30-0. I mean, how many teams have been 30-0? That's a hard thing to do, but here we are, and it's something that's not out of where we are now, November the 26th. It's not out of the realm of possibility, you know. But you can't win 30, you know, until you win 27. You know, you can't win 13 until you win 12. So it's the same exact principle. We just want to be great right in this moment, and I think that's why this team, and I think that's why our program has been so consistent, is because the hardest thing to do in sports is to win consistently. It's the hardest thing to do, no question. You know, to win over and over and over and over again, that's the hardest thing to do. But our guys have really got a great mindset. So yeah, they want to leave here and not lose to South Carolina, but you know, they want to leave here and not lose at all in their junior and senior year. I mean, I think that's a big focus that they have, and they realize that in order for that to happen, they got to be great in this moment, because you're playing a team that can beat. Just a team that went to Georgia and won. So you know, this is a team that I know their record's not great, but as they say in these games, you throw these records out the window. They don't matter. You got to be best team Saturday. Nothing else matters. So you got to do the things that it takes to win, and so that's our focus. And if we do that, then hey, they'll be able to walk away saying, hey, we never lost to them. And I think that'd be a great accomplishment. Then on to the next one.
You mentioned Javon Kinlaw. Just what about him is so dangerous? And Jeff was saying yesterday that you can really tell the evolution between last year.
Oh man, I saw him in high school, and just watching his development. I mean, he's massive. He's a massive human being. He's long and he's powerful. He can move. He's developed great strength. So, I mean, there's really no weaknesses to him. I mean, he's a very good football player. You know, he's a lot like Dexter. You know, not quite as big as Dexter, but he's got that type of you know, power and explosiveness at the point of attack. And again, got great length. He's playing really hard. I mean, he's a problem for everybody.
You mentioned it's hard to kind of see where their identity is on offense because of all the injuries. Just when you watch them offensively, what do you kind of see as the reasons for some of those struggles they've had this year?
Well, just, I mean, again, I think they've had multiple people. Obviously, they lost their starting quarterback the very first game, so now you got a true freshman walking out there that I don't think they were planning on at the beginning, and so now there's always some challenges there, but I really think he's done a good job. I think he's gotten better and better and better. They've had some inconsistencies up front, whether it be injury or moving guys around, trying to find the right combination, and then same thing, injuries outside, and just, but they've done some good things, and they're very multiple in what they do. I mean, they create a lot of problems. I mean, lining up against these guys, I mean, they're well coached. I mean, they're very well coached, football team, and but lining up, making sure that we're disciplined, with our eyes so that we can execute our calls. That's going to be the key for these guys, because again, they've presented so many different things. Lots of empty motion from empty back, traveling guys, so they stress you that way. But I think just the biggest thing is some youth, just some inexperience. They've got a freshman at guard, so just a little inexperience and a little youth, but they got some talent.
You think with what your defense, the night they had against these guys last year, that was a catalyst and sort of get them to focus and then achieve what they did from that point?
I don't think it was a catalyst. I think we played well all year outside of 2 games. I mean, we played 15 games, and 13 of the 15 we played really well. So I wouldn't say that was the catalyst that made us play great against Notre Dame or Pitt or whatever. I just think these guys are self-motivated. They didn't need to have a bad night on defense to want to go win the ACC and win the national championship. But we made some mistakes. We didn't line up well. We were bad with our eyes. Our alignments were poor. We didn't tackle well, and they played really well, especially later on in the game. And we had some we subbed late in the game too, and then just didn't play well. But on defense, we played about as good as you could play on offense. But they just came back and played much better. From that point, we fixed some things.
Flip side of that, Brent's now had 2 weeks to prepare this year. I mean, I would think that's confidence factor.
Yeah, they've had 2 weeks too, so that kind of moot point. They got 2 weeks to get ready, just like we do.
Coach, do you have a favorite memory from this rivalry in your time here?
Favorite memory? Yeah, probably 08. My last game as an interim. We won the game, and I knew if we won the game, I was probably going to get a chance to be the head coach, and so that game for sure. And then probably 14, Deshaun, his game was just unbelievable. I to this day, I still can't believe what took place in that game. Just an amazing performance. Those would probably be the 2 big ones that stand out to me.
Coach, your birthday usually falls on the week of the South Carolina game. Did you do anything special to celebrate your 50th last week?
Yeah, we had the team had a little party in here, which was fun, and then we had a dinner downstairs. A lot of fun. A lot of family and friends were here, and then actually got a chance to go home that night a little earlier than a normal Wednesday, and had some more cake, and but a lot of it was a neat week, neat day. On the 51, here we go.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.